Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is currently 11:10 here today. This is a little later than I would typically get ready and do my makeup, but this is just kind of how it worked out. If you're new here, my name is Alexis and I love makeup. Today I'm going to be talking about some very basic makeup products for those of you who just need something for maybe work or school or just kind of a day-to-day, something kind of quick you can throw on, but it's still a full face. So here I just have a little like basket, and I'm really only going to be applying the things from this basket onto my face. However, I am going to be showing you some other products that I have, some alternatives, and I do have product recommendations that I'm going to be adding in at the end of the video. I've got like a little list here for those of you who have maybe a different skin type than me, or you know, you only have access to certain things. So I know a lot of you that follow me and watch my videos or follow me on social media, a lot of you know me. You're either someone I went to high school with, or you're a friend, family member, something like that. And most of you that I know back down south, you only have access to really like a Family Dollar or a Dollar General or Walmart. So I tried to keep that in mind while filming this video and kind of gathering up these products and the recommendations. You're in a more rural area, so your access to beauty products is very limited. However, there are still some gems. So I'm going to be using the brushes I talked about in my last part of this series. I will link that down below for you, where I just talked about brush essentials. So we're not using a lot of brushes. We're not really using a lot of makeup products either. This is going to take a little bit longer because I'm going to be talking you through and applying the products and why I like it and stuff like that. I'm going to be explaining, but if I weren't talking through this, this would probably take me 10 to 15 minutes just because my brows take a while. Obviously, you can see I don't have any brows, and they are not even. So keep that in mind if you've got good brows or if you've got great skin. You don't have to wear all of these products. You don't always have to go with a full face of makeup, but this is if you want a full face but not a lot of products. You know what I mean? I'm just going to show you some of the kind of palettes that I have. I have this. We're going to be using this today. This is from Believe Beauty. It's Dollar General's in-house brand. I'm actually going to be using their makeup sponge as well. It's their exclusive line that they created like for Dollar General and for their customers. So if you're in more rural areas, definitely check this brand out. They don't go very deep. So if you have very deep skin, I don't have a lot of product recommendations from you, but you can take this concept and these principles and, you know, of course, always adjust. The highlight in here is actually a little too deep and golden for my skin tone, but this, we're taking the concept of this being everything, all the color for our face. So not only is this going to be like my bronzer kind of contour, but this would be my eyeshadow. Here's my blush, and then the highlight could be used on my eyes as well, and that's going to be a super basic look. So I have this one. This was, I think, about $5 from Believe Beauty. Then I have these from LA Colors. This is the blush and highlight palette. The highlighter in here actually works for my skin. This is their Shape It Up contour palette. These were $3 a piece from Dollar General. I'm pretty sure you can get these at Family Dollar as well. Again, this could be like your bronzer, contour, and eyeshadow palette. And here's your blush and highlight. You can use the highlight on the eyes as well. If you're noticing a trend here, we're just going to keep going. I have used these in a couple videos previously, so I'm not going to be using them today just so things are not super repetitive. This is from Catrice. Catrice can be found at Ulta, and this is California in a Box. So it's a blush bronze highlight palette. Again, you're noticing a theme, a trend here. Eyeshadows, face products, eyeshadow, all kind of in one. And then another thing I want to mention, I know that this is hard to find, so if you're down south, I don't think that they actually carry Profusion in stores, but out here where I live in California, a lot of Walmarts and Targets sell the brand Profusion, and they do have a couple of 12 color eye and cheek palettes. The other one is more of a rosy tone, and this one has more golds and bronzes, but again, we've got a blush, we've got some highlights, and then some eyeshadows. If you're just starting out in makeup, you don't really need a bunch of eyeshadow in my opinion. You don't even need an eyeliner. It's more about the complexion, and what's great about that is you're going to get to learn, you're going to be learning how to apply the products. You're going to get that practice with the actual application process. I wouldn't recommend trying to focus on like a winged liner and lashes and stuff like that. It's just going to take up too much of your time. You're going to get frustrated and possibly discouraged. So we're keeping it beginner friendly, but even if you're not a beginner, this is just a great look to have in your little arsenal, if you will. Something that you know, some go-to products, something you know you can throw on really quick, but it's still going to look good and make you feel more confident. So, not that you need makeup to be beautiful or feel beautiful, because there are times that I go out without it, but it also just makes me happy, so I really like it. The only thing is the highlighter is a little too dark for me in this, so I'm going to pull in one of my other ones, but it's still affordable. It's from Wet n Wild. It's the loose highlighter, and this is in the shade... What shade is this? This is the shade I'm So Lit. So it's what works for my skin. I'm going to start out with concealer. This is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I'm in the shade Light Sand. I could actually probably use a lighter shade, but this is what they had when I was picking this concealer up. And this is going to be our eyeshadow base. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm very pale. And I kind of want to cancel out, cover up some of the veininess of my eyes, because sometimes when the veins and discoloration of my eyelids show through, it looks like my eyeshadow is not blended. And I am starting with eyes today so we can get a nice clean shape, even though we're not going very dark. If you hear noise in the background, my fiance is in the living room. He's watching his Formula One racing and stuff. So yeah, and then Damien is also trying to nap out there because I need to be able to talk to you during this video. The next thing I'm going to do is take this setting powder. This is from Wet n Wild, and it's their Coverall pressed powder. This is kind of hard to find because they're actually not really making this anymore, but you may still be able to find it in a few of the dollar stores and stuff. Now they have like a round compact powder. And when it comes to powder, if you're a beginner or you just want something quick and user friendly, I definitely recommend a pressed powder or some kind of powder foundation, because a loose powder is not going to be as quick or user friendly, and it can get kind of messy sometimes. So I'm just going to use this. And I'm going to take my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush, take that and just set the concealer. This is also going to help things blend out really smoothly. Got a nice base going. This powder does have some coverage to it, I will say. Kind of wish they would keep making this, but I think it's discontinued, but you may still be able to find it floating around out there. And I do have recommendations at the end of this video if there's something that you can't find or you don't have access to. I'm going to take the bronzer, and I'm going to take this fluffy brush. e.l.f. makes a great fluffy brush. I talked about brushes in my last video. This is from Wet n Wild. It was like probably $1 or $2, and I'm just gonna dip into the bronzer. It's pretty powdery. You could maybe use your fingers as well, but I'm just gonna buff this into the crease. This is gonna give us some shape, warmth, definition, a little bit of shadow to define our eyes. And you can just keep going in and building that. After I've buffed it into the crease, I'm just building it up on the outer corner here. So we've got kind of a gradient. It's a little darker here than it is in here. Then I'm going to take the highlighter on my finger. Even though it's too dark for my cheeks, I can still use it on the eyes. You don't have to apply any kind of shimmer, but bam, would you know that I just put bronzer and highlighter on my eye? Probably not, if you just saw me. Oops, I dipped into the bronzer by accident. And then I'm just going to take the brush, make sure the edges of that shimmer are kind of blended so it looks really buffed out, really blended. This is also from Believe Beauty, and I decided to use this because I haven't talked about it yet on my channel, but this brand is really starting to get a bit more recognition. This is kind of a gel serum-y consistency and formula of a foundation. The color, the coverage is kind of a medium, but you can build it up a little bit. The only thing is, again, they don't go very deep. They also don't go very like super light. This is the shade Ivory, and I definitely think they could go a bit lighter. So the shade range is kind of but again, I am going to have some recommendations for you. I'm just going to pump out kind of 1, 2. And this is definitely better for more normal to dry skin. Honestly, I'm not worried about covering everything up because I don't have a lot of skin issues. This is the Believe Beauty sponge, and I did go wet it. This was $4 or $5, and it's really soft. You could use a brush. This foundation applies really well with a brush. My foundation brush is just super dirty right now. Back in with that same concealer. This has really great coverage. So if I need any more coverage anywhere else, I've got something that's going to give me that. Put it under my eyes. This dries down to more of like kind of a satin matte. Just going to put it on the areas that I have like a little darkness. Need some coverage, some brightening. In this way, even though it looks like I didn't go very dark on with the bronzer, I can still kind of clean up and get a nice clean shape, but I didn't really try very hard. I'm going to take that same powder that I used earlier and set everything. I'm going to use the Flawless Concealer brush again to first set underneath my eyes so I can get right up under there. Use that for right here in my nose. I got a ring light. Let me know what you guys think of the lighting situation. Does it need to be warmer? Because I have some other like light filters I can put on this light that are more orange tone to kind of balance it out around my mouth. Then I'm going to take my big EcoTools powder brush, really get in that powder because I want to make sure that this is set really well to blend my blush and bronzer on top. Gonna go back into this palette. Works for eyes and face. Do this with any kind of bronzer that you like. And I'm just gonna add some color, some shape back into my face because I'm looking really pale and kind of washed out. These shades are really pigmented, so be careful if you pick this up. Then I'm going to take my pinky and just take that bronzer and kind of run it down here. Just so it matches up. I feel like it makes my eyes look a little bit bigger and more defined. And I'm going to take the highlighter again on my pinky. Just going to go in the inner corner. Go into the blush really lightly. We don't want to look like a clown. It's kind of a satin finish. Make sure you tap off your brush. Now I'm going to take the Wet n Wild highlighter. This was about $4 if you're interested. They also make some great pressed highlighters if you're looking for an individual one. And again, I'm going to take that e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. Really make sure I tap off the excess. Take that on my cheeks. Bam! Yes. Not everyone likes highlighter, but for me, I feel like it helps make me not look dead. Just gives a glow. It makes things look more like skin, in my opinion. Love this one. So affordable. And they've got some, they have other shades too, if you're deeper. I'm going to take the e.l.f. pomade, but I will show you. Before I had tweezed off the tail of my brows, I used to use this e.l.f. brow pencil. Looks like this. It's $2. This is the shade medium brown, and if you already have pretty good brows or you have a tail and you just kind of need to fill in some gaps, this is great. It's affordable, and they also make one now that is even more skinny than this if you have really thin brows. So I totally recommend a brow pencil if you're just starting out, not a pomade. But if you want a pomade, the e.l.f. one is very affordable, and I'm also in the shade medium brown. So I'm going to take the e.l.f. small angled brush and really kind of dig into the product. It's kind of like the first layer of these pomades like dries, and then you kind of dig in, and then any extra I'll kind of dab off on the back of my hand first. And just start at the tail when I have the most product on my brush, because it makes sense for the tail to be a little darker than the rest. And then with what's left on my brush, I will just bring it towards the front. This is probably the most high maintenance or time consuming part of this look, but I know that not everyone has the same brow situation as me. I'm just going to take this is an e.l.f. $1 like flat eyeshadow brush, and just a dab of the concealer because it's pretty full coverage. So I'm going to like get some on my brush here. This is really just an extra step. You don't have to do this. Now time for mascara. You can use any mascara you like. I'm sure you already have a favorite. And when it comes to mascara, I don't have a particular one that I feel like I have to recommend to you. I'm just going to use this CoverGirl Exhibitionist because it's what I have. I need to use it up. CoverGirl makes some great mascaras. L'Oreal. I would steer clear of Wet n Wild or e.l.f. mascaras. And I haven't heard any good things about them. But yeah, when it comes to mascaras at the drugstore, I would definitely say CoverGirl makes a ton of great ones. Just have to be careful because this one's kind of big. Could get messy. Let me do my hair. Alright, and next thing is lips. I have this from Wet n Wild. It is their Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick. These are not lipsticks. I have two of them. It's not lipstick. It's just a really pigmented gloss. This is the color 944B. Send nudes. Don't send nudes. I would not recommend that, but that's the name. It's just a natural color. And there we go. It's just a nice... It's really comfortable and lightweight. This is not a sticky gloss. I do like these. But that's the finished look. I mean, compare, you know, go back in the beginning and compare this to how my face looked in the beginning of the video. And I feel like it's fresh. It's natural. But it's appropriate for work, school, but my lipstick choice, if I were doing a lipstick, would be this one from Wet n Wild. It's 902C Bare It All, and these are great because they're like $3, It's a beautiful color, kind of a warm, natural color. I could chuck this in my purse. So let's get into recommendations. So another foundation recommendation I have would be the e.l.f. Flawless Finish, which I have used before. I don't know if I've actually talked about it in the video though. I'm in the shade Light Ivory. And what's great is they have a description on the back. Online, they have 40 shades. So they're right up there with like NARS in the shade range. They've expanded the shade range of this. In stores, the shades are kind of limited, but online, just know that they have 40 shades. They've added lighter and deeper shades to this. Another one for more normal to dry skin would be the L'Oreal Pro Glow. This is my all-time favorite. This is probably like my 4th bottle here. I love it, and it has a better lasting power than the one that I'm wearing now or the e.l.f. one. So if you want something for more dry skin that's got great coverage but lasts a little bit longer, the L'Oreal Pro Glow I love. Some other product recommendations I have for you, I don't actually like have them, but I'm going to try and insert pictures so you know what I'm talking about. If you have more oily skin, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation is really great. It comes in a glass jar. It smells like paint. I have used it before. But it's too drying on my skin, so I recommend that if you're oily, and that is between $5 to $6 depending on where you get it. The next one for oily skin would definitely be the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. That is a staple for so many people. It's a very well-known foundation, and it's about $6. The other one that I would recommend would be kind of like the opposite, like twin of this, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, and the part here would be like red on it. That one has great lasting power. I don't know if I actually have it. I used to have that somewhere. I think I got rid of it. But that is a great one if you want great coverage. That's going to have a bit more lasting power if you want. So it would be more of like your special occasion or event foundation. The L'Oreal Pro Glow and Pro Matte Infallible foundations, those are $11. Concealer, Believe Beauty, the Dollar General brand, does make concealer. However, you can see this is just too pink for my skin tone, and this is the lightest shade Ivory. But if you're deeper than me, the formula is nice. It doesn't look as light, as dark here, but it oxidizes to be a little pink. The other shades are not so pink. So I would check that out, but also the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. This is $6. It's got amazing coverage. So if you're someone who doesn't really want to wear foundation, you could spot conceal with this and this be your coverage product. Also, the Maybelline Fit Me concealer is really good. The Maybelline Age Rewind concealer is really good. They both got great coverage. They're kind of a standard run-of-the-mill, not heavy. They're lightweight, very user-friendly, come in quite a few shades. Definitely recommend those. They're between, I would say, $6 to $10. For powder, the Wet n Wild one is good. Of course, it comes in different packaging now. It comes in a round compact. The Rimmel Stay Matte powder is really good if you want something really light and to touch up and just kind of set everything. Throw in your purse. Something like that's really good. It also comes in some different shades. Anyway, so this is the completed look. I hope that you like this. I hope it was helpful for you. If not, somewhat maybe entertaining. I don't know. I hope this gave you some ideas as to what you can do to throw together a look. It's really affordable, really quick and easy. You don't really have to think about it too much. Anywho, I know I talk too much. Thanks for watching and sticking around, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.